This is the Real Gud Procast with your hosts, Declan DeBarb, Ian Blumenthal, and Marshall Heath.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the first Real Gud Procast. You're here with myself, Declan DeBarb, my co-host, Ian Blumenthal.
What's up, everybody?
And our producer, Sebastian.
Hello, everybody.
Today, we're missing our other co-host, Marshall Phillie. His voice will grace your ears in about a week's time. I'm just going to do some housekeeping real quick right here. So the podcast will be recorded on the Wednesday night and uploaded on the Thursday, probably about 5 or 6 o'clock in the evening, and then from there we'll see how it goes. You'll get a lot of streaming about the Leafs. Me and Ian are pretty damn big Leafs fans.
Oh boy.
Marshall will try to keep us grounded. I don't know how successful he'll be. He's a Sens fan, unfortunately.
That is very unfortunate for him. I don't know how they're going to be this year, but we'll get to that later in the pod.
Okay, like I promised, we're going to get to the Leafs, because where the hell else would you start in a world that's dominated by Toronto?
We are the best team in hockey. That is
Not biased.
fact. Unbiased opinion. The Maple Leafs are the greatest.
Well, I wouldn't go that far. I think Tampa is better. The Jets, better.
Yep.
Nashville, better. But we're up there. We're up in the categories.
They have what we have, except with defense.
So, while we're talking about Leafs being the best, John Tavares.
Oh, baby. This guy can shoot the puck. This guy can play deep. This guy can schmangle you. And this guy can play defense. What do you want?
I mean, defensively, he's a little bit questionable, but John Tavares is a robot. Did you see his interview with Friedman and Matthews, where he just goes...
It was like Kawhi Leonard's laugh. It was hilarious. Ha, ha.
So, from Tavares, I just want to... Ian, who do you think is going to be the 1C this year? Does it matter? First of all.
I think it's 2 first lines. Like, there's no way. It's all about the matchup game. It's on paper first line, but everywhere else.
How do you match Toronto, though?
The matchup game is crazy for Toronto.
You can't, though.
You have the Matthews line and the Tavares line. That's like when Pittsburgh, Crosby, Malkin. What are you going to do? Nothing.
Like,
you could put a farmer on the line, and they'd still produce so many points.
Zach Hyman?
Damn.
Hey, analytics group, don't come after me. I love Zach Hyman. My Leafs jersey is a Zach Hyman jersey. But come on, he's not Matthews. He probably shouldn't be on the first line.
That's true.
This year he'll be playing with Tavares and Marner, and that's a combination I am excited for.
That is nuts. I'm really excited for that line with Tavares and Marner playing together. Hyman's really good at getting the puck back. Like when he's on the ice, the Leafs don't not have possession a lot of the time. He's a grinder. He'll get down in the boards. Like, everyone knows it about him. He's not that skilled, but sometimes he, like, every once in a while, like, he's on a breakaway, and you're like, oh, it's Hyman on a breakaway. And then he pulls some move, and you're like, wow, what? That doesn't make any sense.
Hopefully he can start burying it. I won't get roasted when I wear my Hyman jersey anymore if he does that.
Getting roasted on that? He's on the first line of the Leafs, man.
Hey, don't even go there. You were one of the people who roasted me when I got the jersey.
It's because I thought he was going to get traded.
But they're playoff contenders. What are you supposed to say? They're going to do well in the playoffs and then lose to Boston after 7 games.
Hey, don't even. Why are you
Boston.
us like that, Seb?
It's my job.
Don't bring up Boston, please.
You know, I'm supposed to hate Montreal. I'm supposed to hate Ottawa. I hate Boston.
More than anything. But, unpopular opinion, Brad Marchand's the GOAT.
Fuck Brad Marchand.
Worst guy.
I hate Brad Marchand.
Man, if I was on the Bruins, I would hate Nazem Kadri.
Well, yeah, but it's not the same. Nazem Kadri doesn't go around and lick people.
Yeah, but licking isn't, like, it's, like, not that bad.
What do you mean?
It's one of the grossest things you can do.
So false. There's a lot of gross things you could do. Licking is not that bad.
It's not like what I forgot who was in basketball, but they're like blowing in their ears. But it's way worse.
Licking is way worse than blowing in someone's
I know.
ears.
That's the level. People are like, oh man, blowing in the ear. That's disgusting.
Would you rather get licked or slew-footed?
Yeah, fair enough.
Like,
Brad Marchand
It's a dirty
licked Ryan Callahan's teeth.
It's a dirty move as in like hygiene, but it's not a dirty move
like,
as
you're
in
not gonna get
injury.
It's just super disrespectful.
But you're not gonna get him.
I think it's worse than spitting in someone's face.
Is it suspension worthy?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Unsportsmanlike conduct.
Didn't he get suspended for that? I'm
He
just
did
checking.
not. He got
Yeah.
a warning.
Max Domi only got suspended 5 preseason games for punching a guy in the face.
That's
for
a
no
that's a
reason.
whole other thing that we'll get to later. The dirty player that Max Domi is. I mean, as Leaf fans, we know what a Domi has in store.
Oh my-
He could have seriously hurt Aaron Ekblad, who has a history of concussions. But we'll save that for later. I want to get back to this debate regarding Tavares and Matthews. I know you said that it doesn't matter, but who do you think Babs trusts more, Tavares or Matthews?
I'm gonna say, from a veteran standpoint, Tavares, but Austin Matthews is better.
I would say, honestly, I think Matthews might get the 1C because Babs has known him for longer and he's been on the Leafs longer. So it's just a thing of like, how long has they been trusted by Babs? Tavares may have experience longer with other teams, but I think on Toronto, Matthews has more experience.
Babs knows Tavares. He was the coach. Yeah, he was the coach of Canada's team. But also Matthews and Babcock apparently had a big falling out at the end of the season in the playoffs due to playoff time. I mean, he went all the way down to Arizona to go speak with Matthews. So I don't know what the relationship is there. I'm sure it's been
sure it's a lot
repaired.
better.
But I mean,
Matthews-
nobody that's played for Babs has liked Babs. Like there's been stories about Zetterberg not liking him.
Oh.
And stuff like that. I mean, you're not gonna like your coach, I think, because he'll be on your ass the entire time.
That's their job. Their job is to make sure they get the best results out of you. So
But he'll
even
get you championships.
yeah.
That's what he's trying to do. The relationship you have with your other players is a mutual respect thing, but also it should be the authority figure. The coach is your boss. He's telling you what to do, and you got to do what he tells you to do. You got to trust him. And I have full trust in Mike Babcock. Yeah, there have been times where I'm like, come on. Really? You're going to do that? You're going to make them play dump and chase hockey? Like, they're in the NHL. They don't need to play this type of hockey. They're way better than this. You're making them go back to the basics, which I kind of get because of the way he wants the team to, like, evolve, work on basics first. But they're so much better than that. They were better than that at the beginning, and they changed it up because they started playing bad.
Well, I think he was just doing it to keep them interested. I mean, I think that's the main thing that came out of last year was a team that at nights just looked uninterested. You could tell when they played a Montreal or they played in Ottawa, not to kick down, but that they took it too easy and they threw those games away.
Yeah, because they were so solidified in the standings from December. Like, they were so solidified.
Yeah, no, I know,
They
and
didn't
that's
play a meaningful game for 4 months.
and I think that bit them in the ass because you could see at the start of the playoffs against Boston, they just didn't look up for it.
They really did.
They looked like a team that hadn't played a meaningful game in 4 months.
no,
They were slow.
you could see that there was a lack of interest. Like I said again with Montreal and Ottawa, with the weaker teams, is you saw they were just not interested. It was, and you could, people and fans were unhappy because it's not the Leafs they wanted to see. When they played against better teams, they played better hockey. But it's just a loss of, like, if you're paying for the ticket, you want to see a better game, and that's what was lost when playing weaker
fair.
teams.
Yeah, I sorry, Ian, but I don't think Babs wanted to see the early season Leafs that played against the Jets, who almost threw away a
run and
3-goal
gun,
lead
man.
and then won 7-4, if my memory serves me right. But
It was against the Jets. They won 7-2. But then it was the next game they would play the Rangers. They were up like 5-1, and then they blew it and went 5-all, and then they won 7-5 or something.
yeah, outscoring all your problems is not something that
No, we need to
works
fix our
in the
defense.
NHL, and who knows if that is what's going to happen again this year. Going back to Tavares, does it mean anything that he got the A ahead of Matthews?
I think the reason he got an A, it's mainly because Babcock knows the guy really well. He's coached him before, and he was the captain of the New York Islanders, and he did a pretty good job at it. He was amazing. So I think that him getting the A was pretty much a given. Like, he was going to get a letter regardless. It was whether Matthews was going to get a letter, and I think it's an interesting choice for him not to have a letter this season. But I think Babcock wants him to evolve more as the player before he gets the letter on his jersey.
Well, I think from a management point of view, it makes sense not to give Matthews a thing. He doesn't have a deal going past the end of this season.
Yeah.
And the team has all the leverage here. He's hopefully going to re-sign in Toronto. We'll get to Willie a little bit later because that's looking a little bit sketch. But now that I've said that, he's going to get signed before I upload this.
Within 24 hours.
We're going to hit stop on the record and he's going to sign his deal. But I think I was listening to, it was on one of the first preseason games, and the three-letter network, I think it was Bob McKenzie, said that, yeah, it makes sense. And I think I agree with Bob because he said that, hey, he doesn't have a deal yet, so he hasn't committed his future to the city. Once he signs the 7 or 8 year deal with Toronto,
7 or 8 years.
I think that he'll get the A, and then maybe a couple years down the road he'll get a C. I don't.
Yeah.
But
will he get the C over Tavares?
I'm of the opinion that it doesn't matter.
I concur it doesn't matter, but when you're a hockey player, put yourself in Matthew's shoes. Imagine you've been playing this team for 3 more years than the guy, or no, 2 more years than John Tavares, and you've been working with Mike Babcock for both those years, and then this new guy comes to the team for your 3rd year. They get the A over you, and then they're going to get the C over you, even though you may be the better player. It's all about the locker room presence. It's not about the play.
Listen, I think at the end of the day, Matthews will get it. He's the face of the franchise. He's the kid we were promised on.
He's Jesus to us.
He's 4-goal Matty, but
hit him with a 4 like Austin Matthews.
But listen, I don't. I've read a couple of good books about captaincies and that they lead to dynasties, but I think that putting a letter on your jersey doesn't make you a leader. I think you get the letter on your jersey as recognition that you are a leader.
Yeah. Prime example, Henrik Zetterberg. He was a captain, great leader. They won a cup, but it's not a dynasty. Just because you have a great captain like that doesn't mean you're going to win cups.
No, exactly. So with Matthews not having a deal and the figure that it might be, maybe Tavares range, maybe
more.
Maybe McDavid range, but I think it all starts with the Willie deal that has yet to be signed.
Whatever Willie signs for, that's going to determine what Marner and Matthews sign for. If Willie signs for way too much, I don't think they can keep both. That'd be hard.
I just don't think so. I think that the past NHL has shown that you build your team around the stars and you find competent bums to fill in. You find players like Zach Hyman. You find players like Andreas Janssen to fill in the holes deeper in your lineup, but you build around and you do whatever it takes to keep your stars.
The Leafs are very good at finding talent recently. Their forward depth is
wing depth. I wouldn't call it forward depth.
Wing depth is crazy. Even on our 4th center line, we have a couple of options that we can go with that wouldn't be awful.
Now, who would you play on the 4th line? Would you go Janssen Cappy? Would you go Brown Ennis?
I would put Ennis up with Matthews. He's
instead of Patrick Marleau? Buddy, this is not the Tyler Ennis of his Buffalo days. This is current Tyler Ennis. He's been really good in the preseason. I'll give him that.
It'll depend on
and
how he plays.
And I think that he's been a diamond in the rough. He's been a great signing by Dubas, but he shouldn't play on the first line. Who's he going to take? Willie Marleau?
He'd be a No, he's not. I don't think he's taking William Martin. It's hard. They're all so good. It hurts.
Like I would play Ennis on the fourth line with Connor Brown and Parr Lindholm. You play that line 5 or 6 minutes a night.
So your third line is Capiani
and Kadri.
That is insane.
You use that as a shutdown line?
That's first line in some cities.
Ottawa.
So yeah, we're all talking about like their offense line, right? But like, what about the main thing is what about Leafs defensive line? Like, where are we sitting with that? Like, it's pretty good, but like there is room for improvement.
The room for improvement is on the right side. I would say the Leafs have arguably, and I know this is going to upset a bunch of people, arguably one of the best left-sided cores in the league. I was reading Dom Luszczyszyn's article this morning about, he was doing a Leafs season preview, breaking it down using his statistic model. All of the Leafs players on the left side, so Gardner, Riley, and Dermott, could all be first-line defensemen.
That's what, I don't know about Dermott. His time on ice was not enough to show. He was sheltered a lot by Babcock last season, so we got to see this season for sure. But I see our left side is amazing.
I think
It's crazy.
I think it's just a waiting game until we can get Liljegren. Maybe we need to make a move, pick up. I don't know. Can we sign Jake Gardner? Maybe trade Jake Gardner for
like that.
for a Jarrett Spurgeon kind of guy. Adam Wilde has pushed it. I'm a big Dangle fan. Jared Spurgeon seems to be, from everything I've looked at him and everything I've heard of him, basically the same as Gardner, but on the right side.
And
Gardner is great. I love Jake Gardner. I love Jake Gardner, but he just divides this fan group.
I don't like Jake Gardner.
Listen.
Like, he's a great player. He's a great guy too. Like, off the ice, great guy. Like, looks amazing. Everyone talks about him like he's awesome. On the ice, he's a great player. He moves the puck really well. He does everything amazing.
But that's the problem with the Leafs defense. Last year against Boston, we saw it. They would dump the puck to the left corner. Polak, Hainsey, and Zaitsev looked helpless. They passed the puck to their partner, and they had to shovel it out.
Zaitsev looked really bad last year. I think he needs to find his footing again this year, and once he does, I think that'll be really good for the team. He signed a big contract with us, so I'm really hoping it works out. I'm scared. Who's gonna be our last D-man that we're putting in there? Because
In the third line?
with the third line, because we know we got Riley, Gardner, Dermott, Hainsey, and who am I forgetting?
And Zaitsev.
And Zaitsev. We know those are the 5 guys that we're gonna play. Who's their 6th guy?
You know, I'm a little bit torn here. I'm a big fan of Connor Carrick. Just as a person, I love Connor Carrick.
He worked out a lot this summer.
He won the
Apparently
Iron Man.
Offseason. Yeah, this offseason, he killed it. And his legs are looking great, which kind of sounds weird, but, like, big, like, circumference-wide. He's huge.
Yo, just say it.
guy.
Just say it.
He is attractive.
You're attracted to Connor Carrick.
I'm more attracted to Thomas Buchanan. That's for another
Oh, it's the
time.
turtleneck, eh?
It's the turtleneck. We got, like, is it going to be Hall, though?
I don't.
Diamond in the rough.
Listen, I like Hall. I liked what I've seen from him. He was great in his short little stint with the Leafs. I don't know. I don't know. My vote is Carrick or Borgman. I think they should run 7D.
Yeah.
Carry 7D.
And then
Also, Josh Levo doesn't exist.
he's so good, but he can't crack the lineup because everyone's better. He just doesn't fit the role well. He'd do really well. I think where he could be great would be, like, honestly, he'd be great in Pittsburgh. He'd be third line in Pittsburgh, probably.
That's a discussion for another day. I brought up
Right.
Josh Levo to make a comment about Carrick. I hope Carrick doesn't turn into
Josh Levo.
Into Josh Levo. We never see anything from him again. All we see is his dog and coffee photos on Instagram.
Oh my god, he posts. Like, I love Connor Carey's Instagram. It's so fun.
I feel Connor Carrick is a great guy in that dressing room.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would say a leader, but he's
He's definitely loud.
Yeah.
He's definitely got a presence. You know what I mean? Like, everyone likes him. Everyone knows who he is.
he just seems like that guy. I have no insider knowledge.
It's like Matt
but-
Martin. Like, he wasn't like a leader of the team, but like the boys loved him. Like, they wanted to hang out with him. They wanted to do things with him because they were like, this guy's sick. Like, I want to be this guy.
But to bring it back to the Leafs 6th or possibly 7th defenseman, if they run 7,
They're not gonna do it. Babcock is way too old fashioned to do that. He's not progressive enough to go 7D.
I don't know. We saw some flashes from
but you're
him
not-
last season of progressiveness, playing basically 2 centers on every line. He'd like to do that. Maybe he takes the jump and plays 7D in an important game. You drop Par Lindholm and you dress Connor Carrick if you need some energy.
I think-
That allowed it makes so much sense in big games because
I
you
see
let
it.
Ron Hainsey kill penalties and you don't ground him into the dust like he did this year.
Oh boy, a
Um,
lot of play.
But I think 7D makes sense when you're playing a Boston, when you're playing a Tampa Bay, because then you can run your 3 centers. And how do they match that?
Yeah, no, our 3 centers are very good. I don't know if I can explain it any other way. They're just great.
So yeah, we talked about the forwards. We've talked about the defensemen, but the real question is, like, we have Freddie and net, but who else is are we looking at as Toronto Maple Leafs? Like, what other goalies are on our radar?
Oh, there's 3. We got 3 radars. 3 goalies on the radar.
I don't like McElhinney's there.
He's
and
so good.
He's been great.
so
but is
bad.
that what you want to go forward with? Do you want to go forward with a 35-year-old? If I have my memory correct, 35-year-old goalie in Curtis McElhinney, or do you want to go with your AHL goalie of the year in Garrett Sparks that you've developed, or do you want to go with Calvin Pickard that you picked up? Personally, I'm of the mind that you need a goalie to play more than 15 games?
Yeah, he played. I think he was 9-5-1 or something, or no, 11-5-1. If I'm not
11-5-1. So he played. The journalism major is trying to do some math here.
17 games.
17 games. in those 17 games, granted, he was phenomenal. He keeps that up for a season. He wins. He wins.
934 save percentage.
I
But
don't
that's
know
only
how.
on 17 games. Man, looking at this guy play, I'm like, how is that not in the net already? Like, he's obviously way better than I ever was because he's playing in the show. He's there. He's got a 934 save percentage. But watching him play, like, it kind of hurts. Like, you're like, oh no.
Watching
Why?
McElhinney play is fun because you never know what's going to happen.
Yeah, but you usually win, which it doesn't make sense.
But we saw in the playoffs this year that you need a goalie that can play more than that.
Yeah, you need a Sparks or Picard. They look like Freddie in the net.
I don't even know if you need them. You just need Babs to, because it's clear Babs doesn't trust McElhinney for more than 20 games, and you need your goaltender to play. You need your backup to play 25, 30 games.
And I think Sparks.
Because look at what happened in Washington this year. You have a team that's been futile at making it past the second round. You have Holtby lose his job at the back half of the season. Grubauer plays 35 games, and they win the Stanley Cup on the back of Holtby.
Yeah.
Holtby was fantastic. He looked fresh. He looked better than any other goalie out on the ice.
Fleury was better.
Okay, I'll give you that. But
Fleury was the best goalie in the league. Oh my god.
Fleury also missed time.
No, yeah, he did. But he was so good for when he played.
Mm-hmm. But you need a well-rested goalie to win something. Because in the NHL, hockey should just be known as 5 dudes plus a goalie. Because your goalie can win. Montreal's a prime example of that.
Yeah, your goalie can win or lose your game. If they have a bad game, you lose. They have a great game, and the other goalie has a good game, you win.
I can't remember, but I think it was either game 2 or game 3 of the Boston Maple Leafs. I know I'm bringing it up again. But Freddie had about 40 shots on net, and he basically carried that team.
Game 3. It was game 3, I remember.
But
he made that paddle save.
Yeah, he's basically saved the Leafs from losing that game and actually competing in it. They were actually a reasonable competitor against the Bruins. People saw the first game and were worried.
I think for the games that the Leafs won, the second game when they lost the second game, they were the better team. And I don't know, like, it happens. You're the better team, you lose because Tuukka Rask is great. But we have Freddie. And when Freddie's great, we're going to win a game. Even, I think in game 3 or 4, like, we won, but we shouldn't have won.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, fair. But I don't want to dwell on the ilks of past seasons. So consensus, just right now, who you think is the backup going into this year?
The only thing about Sparks is he's had a shaky preseason, but I think once he gets his feet under him, he was the AHL goalie of the year. Yeah, the NHL's a big step up. Your numbers are going to go down from 936 last year, which was insane. But he's going to be good, and he's a great backup for Freddie. And I don't think McElhinney can take the workload he can. And I even think that if I was going to pick my backup goalie, it would be Sparks first, and then Picard, and then McElhinney. Just for sole purpose, he can't take the load.
So you risk losing possibly Curtis McElhinney to waivers, possibly Calvin Picard to waivers as well?
Yeah.
I think I agree with you there. I don't know if I would choose Picard because you don't really have a body of work in the NHL for Garrett Sparks. You have a short little stint.
Yeah.
On the horrible Leafs.
Maybe put him in the AHL for a bit.
No, but the problem is you can't because he'd have to pass waivers.
Oh, yeah. On the way back up? Oh, no, on the way down.
On the way down.
I forgot.
I think it's Sparks as well, but personally, I think I would pick Picard simply because of that NHL body of work. I think Garrett Sparks is stuck in that league between the NHL and the AHL, and it's that simple.
I think he'll break out of it. Like, if he gets put in the NHL and gets fully immersed into it, I think he'd rise to the occasion.
Listen, I love Garrett Sparks, but the big difference everybody says between the AHL and the NHL is the shot. And Garrett Sparks, he's a little bit erratic in that net. He's a nice mix of Freddie and McElhinney, but I think he's still a little bit McElhinney, and he jumps around. And I don't know how many fantastic saves you can make at the NHL level if you're bouncing around like that.
Yeah.
Just is it the problem that you guys are seeing is like, is it the issue is that his style is so unorthodox that it feels wrong? Or is it just like, is he not ready for the caliber of the NHL?
I just think that his style is diametrically opposed to a play in the NHL. I know I say that with Curtis McElhinney as our backup goalie, but I don't think you can bounce around in your net as much at the NHL level because shots are just that much better.
I agree with you on the point that Picard looks more sturdy. Like when I was watching him play during the preseason this year, him in the net, he looked like a replica of, not a replica, but very close how Freddie looks. Very sturdy, focused on his game, very in position all the time. And I couldn't find a way to like criticize this guy really because he was killing it. But I was looking at Sparks in the net, and he's a little bit more flary out there, but I don't think he's got that McElhinney like, woo.
For the audio listeners, Ian put his hands up like he was riding a slide and went, woo! Like a 6-year-old girl. Okay, I just want to do one more thing for the faithful Ottawa Senators fans and all of you others who listen to this podcast. We're going to just talk one more little thing about the Leafs. Who was your standout player in the playoffs? In the preseason.
Oh, Matthews in the playoffs. JK.
Separated shoulder, Austin Matthews.
I know. Right now, preseason, it's crazy. There's so many guys who are showing. Bracco's looked really good out there. I really liked him.
I think Bracco's been hit or miss. Personally, I would say maybe a Callie Rosen.
Ooh, he's been good.
Who we didn't mention in our defense debate.
Yeah,
but
I don't think
I've
he's cracking.
really liked Callie Rosen out there. I hope we don't lose him to Sweden. I hope. But, I mean, we mentioned it before. It's been Tyler Ennis. I mean, you get to play on Matthews' wing. You're the Nylander fill-in, if you will. But I think he's been great. He's looked energetic. He just looks like he belongs at the NHL level. He's been dominating, and I don't know how much of that is Matthews driving play and him finishing on it. But I can't help but think of that snipe that he had.
That's what I was about to say.
Albeit on McKenna, who's their AHL starter, but what a shot.
It was nice.
Yeah, the thing with Ennis and with he's playing with Matthews is it could be just a good chemistry. You know, it could be even just a morale thing that maybe he feels better on Matthews' line.
Yeah.
But it could just be, you know, he's actually up for that caliber. It could be just luck that he's getting the good shots, or he's just meshed well with Babs and he's meshed well with Matthews, and he's just getting how to play in the NHL. It could be beginner's luck. We don't know yet.
Well, he's not a rookie. He's been an established pro. He's just fallen on some hard times.
Yeah.
By God, I hope Tyler Ennis can make a revival. He was what,
so
NHL
good.
13 beast? I got him on my GM mode all the time. He was
so
great.
Good. He was so good.
Okay.
And now that we got it, I think he's gonna be great for us.
Okay.
I'm excited.
I want to move on from the Leafs because I know we could talk about this all day.
Oh boy.
I mean, I think our friendship is, what do we have in common? Nothing. We both like the
Literally
Leafs. That's
nothing.
it.
Yeah.
But we're going to kick on the Sens a little bit. I'm sorry, Sens fans.
Sorry, Marshall.
But
in advance.
Like, you know exactly where this is going. I don't know how you set up the Sens season without talking about first the Duchesne trade and then the Carlson trade.
It just seems wrong. Like I was just
weird.
I was looking at these trades and it just felt like they're just either trying to grab at money or just destroy a franchise.
Well, I think I just want to preface the Duchesne trade just in the one piece that they gave away, and it was a mistake. What can you do? It was a team that was going for it. It's their first round pick that they don't have.
Oh, that's bad. And they got rid of Carlson now. Ooh.
Yeah.
That's a big oof. Carlson pretty much said that he hadn't talked to Sens management since last November, which is an inordinate amount of time to not talk to the management of the team you're playing for. And they went off a cliff. They made it to the Eastern Conference Final 2 years ago, and then they were bottom of the league. They were so bad. It hurt to watch the games. We went to a couple last year, and it was not good.
They almost looked like an AHL team. It was horrible. I don't know where the hope is in Sens land, but I just want to make one comment on what Jeff Merrick reported, backed up by Elliot Freeman on 31 podcasts. Merrick apparently heard Roop Hintz, Devin Shore, Julius Honka, and guaranteed picks. Now, compare that to what they got from San Jose. In Chris Tierney, Dylan DeMello, Josh Norris, Rudolph Balsers, two confirmed picks and two conditional picks with some crazy conditions on both of them. Now, if you're the Ottawa Senators, if you're Brian 5 or 6, let's say, how much hurt are you in right now?
I'm upset. Quite upset. Not gonna lie. There was clearly it's not confirmed. Like, we don't know 100% that this was correct. That the offer from Dallas was 100%.
No. Yeah, but I mean, when you have two of probably some of the best insiders in the country saying that,
yeah.
it's a little bit worrying.
Well, the reason that Elliott's saying it is because from what I forget his name.
From Jeff Merrick got the source.
Yeah.
Elliot Friedman saw the Sens scouting Rupins
yeah.
and the like. So I think there's too much credence that if you're a Sens fan, why you don't pull the trigger there. I think it's a case of Dorian trying to squeeze out every little last thing, and it bit him in the ass because Friedman also reported that San Jose was the only team sniffing around still at the end of the summer.
Yeah, but also I'd like to input that, as Elliott said, some teams value players differently.
No, yeah.
What if they thought that wasn't as good a deal?
That's very true, but those are some sure names there. Those are some good names there. Plus, you get guaranteed picks.
Yeah.
Just from that, you get guaranteed picks.
No, yeah.
I'm going to go off on Senators management right now because this rant has been boiling in me. Listen, as a Leafs fan, I'm sure Sens fans don't want to hear this. But this is dark. This is the darkest I've ever seen a franchise. That's coming from a Leafs fan. We've been dark before.
No, we've been worse.
No way. There's no... This will be the worst season in NHL history.
Really?
In Sens history, this
No,
will be
the
worse.
Sens, first season, they
This
won,
will be worse than that.
no games.
This will be worse than that. At least they had a pick. At least they had a pick at the end of the season to look forward to. They don't have a pick. They're playing for nothing. They've lost Erik Karlsson. Who knows if they trade Duchesne or Stone, both on expiring deals come the end of the year. Where's the light for this team? Honestly.
They're not going to be worse than their inaugural season. 92, 93.
They may not be worse, but
guess
at
how many
least
wins they got that season?
8.
10. They got 10. But then they lost 4 in overtime. And then they lost 70 games.
But they had a
Regulation.
first-round pick. That's the thing. It's stupidity from Dorian and from Melnick.
Okay. That's reasonable.
I more blame Melnick than I blame Dorian. But Jesus Christ. Come on.
Mm-hmm.
How in this pick do you not get a first-round pick for this year? Because San Jose's pick's already assured to Buffalo for the Evander Kane deal. So they don't have a first-round pick for this year.
It's not looking good for them. But you got to know, they're okay. They're going to be okay eventually. It'll take a long time.
When's eventually? 10 years? Honestly.
Yeah, no, but Brady Tkachuk looks good.
He does.
He does. He looks good. So that's something to look forward to for them.
He should not play in the NHL. He should not be on this train wreck of a franchise this year that has no hope to play for. Brady Tkachuk, I see him. He looks like he has it. He doesn't look like a timid person.
He's got it.
He just looks like a bully, and I like that. I like that in a player. I think they drafted their Nazem Kadri.
He's got the Michael Jordan
or their
special sauce.
I hope for Ottawa's sake, he turns out to be Brad Marchand.
Yeah, Brad Marchand is crazy good at hockey. I don't want to talk about Brad Marchand.
He was throwing his body around when they played the Leafs. He tried to fight Zaitsev. He almost threw him
into the bench.
He almost threw him into the bench, but God, the mistake that they made.
It's just
the
thing with Ottawa is that Karlsson was their superstar. Every team has their one superstar that everyone buys the jersey for, everyone cares for, and now it's gone. Now they have to find some new talent or old talent to take over that role that Karlsson was.
Duchesne?
Of just a good leader, good face for the organization, but I don't know where we're looking at.
Well, if you want to say Matt Duchesne, I have a quote here from Michael Trakos, who was on Sportsnet, who said, "You're going to lose Duchesne at the end of the year. He wants to be on a winning team. He wants to win. That's why he left Colorado."
That was so funny when he left Colorado to go to the playoffs, and then the Sens didn't even come close. But then the Avalanche made it. I would laugh. That was hilarious.
Listen, I don't think they would have made it if they wouldn't have made it if Matt Duchesne was on that team. Call me crazy. Look how they started performing when Matt Duchesne left. Look at the pickup Nathan McKinnon had.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
It's reasonable. Nathan McKinnon is great. Fantasy hockey got him.
With better usage, it's great. But
Honestly, the Sens are looking for a train wreck season. But
it's a train wreck season
gotta
without a
do
first
it.
round pick.
Yeah, but you got to do it. Like, there's nowhere else they can go with this. Unless they trade for some shit pick.
But then they need to try and be as good as they possibly can. Because what if you're the Sens, you finish last, and you give
Someone else you first.
and you give Colorado Jack Hughes, who's looking like
So
a
good.
he's looking like a generational talent, man.
Man, everyone throws around generational talent.
No.
generational talent,
No.
generational
No.
talent. Every year there's a generational talent. Dolan, generational talent. Matthews, Line, both generational talents. They're all not generational talents. They're really, 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 really good hockey players. But generational talent is Sidney Crosby, Connor McDavid.
So you're saying Connor McDavid, even though he was signed 2 years ago, he was a rookie 2 years ago, you're saying you're believing that he's that
He got
caliber?
108 points last year.
Connor McDavid-
for one of the worst teams in the league.
Connor McDavid is a generational talent. I don't know how you debate that.
Like there's no,
Seb,
Seb,
how are you crapping on your hometown boy like
That's
that?
your hometown.
Newmarket, Ontario. How?
Yeah, I should say I am from Newmarket, Ontario. He is my hometown boy.
Connor McDavid holds this training camp in Toronto every summer, and he invited both the Hughes brothers.
Yeah.
By God, is Jack Hughes a good player? He looked like he fit in. He was one of the best players there.
Well, when you get someone that's that good at hockey, and I don't want to crap on generational talent because
No, and I don't think you're
but
crapping
the
on it.
only
I think you
thing
just
with
want to
generational
use it
talent
properly.
is you have to like there's not a generational talent every year. You can't have every
No.
single year you get like those one or two guys that are like the best of their year and their generational talents. Like everyone was talking about Eichel being like on the levels of McDavid, doesn't even touch him. He's been not good. So
I
that's
wouldn't
not
say
nice.
not good. I
He-
would
no,
just
yeah,
say
okay, sorry.
I would just say not Connor McDavid.
Yeah, not on that level. He's great though. He's really good. He's a great hockey player.
And I think in a couple of years you'll start to see them seen on not more of an equal playing field, but you'll start to see Jack Eichel appreciated a little bit more. Jack Hughes on the brain, just like we saw from the Taylor Hall and Tyler Seguin draft.
Yeah,
I think
it's
that
reasonable.
especially now I'm high hopes on Buffalo this year.
I think Buffalo's gonna be good also.
You're saying playoff
Now
contenders
we've gone
or
through
just
Toronto and we've gone through the Sens. What are other big Canadian teams we should go through right now?
Do you want to touch the Habs?
I
real
do want to
quick?
touch the Habs really quick.
Okay, I'm gonna let you go. Let's talk about the Max Domi.
Max Domi.
We brought it up earlier in the show.
great player. Good player. He's a great player. He's gonna be good.
He
is good.
great winger.
Yeah.
Not what Montreal need.
But he punched Aaron Ekblad in the face.
Which you kind of can't do.
like why? Why? Why
Like,
do you do this?
But it's not like he's even fighting for a spot. That's what baffles me.
Yeah, I don't know.
he's more of like he's a good player, but he's a punk on the ice, or he's not. Maybe
He's
punk
like
off the ice.
Matthew Tkachuk.
He's not the personality. Like
less
some people
good.
say, yeah, he's a good player. He's not the type of personality that you want leading an organization. So the Habs may have to put him out of the limelight and just push him off stage and maybe put him on second line, even though don't make him start. He's a good player. I'm not going to take that away from him, but do you have to hide his face a little bit so your organization doesn't look bad?
Listen, Mark Bergevin is paddling up Schitt's Creek right now. He doesn't have a 1C. He's never had a 1C because he doesn't know how to develop 1Cs.
Yeah,
That's my
true.
thing.
Jonathan Drouin could do it though.
But they don't.
Great.
They don't know how to coach. That's my
Yeah.
thing. They don't know how to develop players.
Except for Carey Price.
Carey Price is what I'll give him, but come on.
It's
He
a
did a poor job with Pacioretty.
yeah.
With Patches,
He was a great guy, but they're not using him to what he's supposed to do.
with Gouch, that guy can play center, and he's going to play center this year for the Yotes. He can play center with
sucks.
proper coaching
But also
and
the Yotes.
development. He can play center on the Yotes. I'm high on the Yotes this year too.
Bold opinion here. I think if Carey Price plays the way Carey Price can play, they'll push in. I don't think they will guarantee a playoff spot, but they might be pushing on it because Carey Price will win them 20 games by himself if he plays the way Carey Price plays.
I don't know if 2020's hefty.
Carey Price is Carey Price. Have you seen this guy play hockey?
It's
Okay, you say that, but who's going to score for this team?
Gallagher.
Thomas Tatar?
Thomas Buchanan.
Which organization would you prefer to play
Habs
for?
versus Sens?
Habs versus Sens. A team that's been
hard.
mediocre for so long. A team that's been mediocre for so long. Because Carey Price is there. They're not going to drop to bottom of the league with Carey Price.
Yeah, you can.
Carey Price can win them 10, 15 games.
He's such an outlier to the Habs. Like, the Habs, they're not known for much talent, but then there's Carey Price.
Pacioretty's been good. Like, was really, really good. He's going to be so good on Vegas. I'm excited to see that.
But I'm saying right now, there's not much name-stake talent. So, again, with the Sens, they have the same issue. Where are they going to go? Like, what is their... Besides Price, like, Price becomes the figurehead. So, what do we do after that?
Like, pretty much last thing about the Habs, Weber. He's out 5 months, 6 months, probably till December. Well, was out 5-6 months from when he got his surgery, which is December coming up.
I don't know.
They're already bad, so it doesn't really matter.
Like,
They're
it
gonna
won't
lose anyways.
matter. I don't think... I think Shea Weber is good and all, but he is not PK Subban. Like, I don't want to drag it back a couple of years to the day. That was the biggest mistake Montreal has ever made.
I think PK Subban's overrated. They didn't need to stay at home. I think for Montreal was the wrong decision, but I think of value-wise, Shea Weber is equally as valuable on the defense, if not more valuable than PK Subban. PK Subban's kind of reckless out there.
Buddy, this guy can't move.
He's great, though.
Buddy, this guy can't move.
Yeah, but this guy is a 110-mile-per-hour slap shot. So, he's like, there's literally compilations of him injuring people with his shot.
But how important is skating in this league? How important is skating?
Dustin Byfuglien's a perfect example. You don't need to be a great skater to be great.
But we're in a faster game, honestly.
Yeah, but if you know how to move your body around positionally, you don't have to move as fast.
You have to have a better...
people like Connor McDavid and Dylan Larkin and Andreas Janssen now and Kapanen, because they're both really fast and cool and stuff.
Listen, that's the way the league is going.
I agree, but like at this moment in time, like Shea Weber does a great job on the defensive end.
I don't know. I don't think the numbers back you up there, but all right.
So I don't want to, we're having some good Habs discussion. I know we are Canadians, proud, born and proud. But what about the Canucks this year?
The Canucks are also in Canada, buddy.
I know, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. More Canadian teams. What about the Canucks, the Vancouver Canucks? How are they looking this year?
They're missing the Sedins now, but they're not going to be good. But who do they got now?
They have Elias Pettersson.
He is good.
He's destroyed Dylan Strome. Like, I don't think Dylan Strome is ever going to recover
so
from that.
funny.
I have bad ankles. Dylan Strome's been messed up worse than I ever had. But I want to throw a quick stat out there.
Oh my god.
The Sedins had 26 goals last year combined.
It's not good.
Both of them.
It's not good.
Who replaces that? Do you see Elias Pettersson being a 30-goal scorer this year?
Could be, and that replaces both of the Sedins.
Very possible, I agree.
So
is Elias Pettersson the answer?
like, I don't know if he's the only answer, but he's unanswered.
They need more answers.
Like, you need more answers. Like, the Leafs, Matthews was unanswered. But you also need the team around him. You need Marner. You need Nylander. You need Freddie at net. And I really don't know about the tending in Vancouver.
Now, they have Thatcher Demko coming up, who's looking like a pretty decent prospect. But, you know, it's goalies. Who knows?
Yeah, you have no idea what
Yeah,
goalies.
goalies-
Until they're like 25.
Goalies are very hit or miss. That's the problem with them. But they're one of the most important players on the ice at all times.
I remember a year ago or 2 years ago, everyone was talking about Carter Hart. This guy, next Carey Price. Yeah, he's still a good prospect. But, like, no one talks about him as the next Carey Price anymore because you never actually know. It's a goalie.
It's hit or miss. It's an honest dice roll with goalies.
Yeah, 100%.
They can be either the best player in the entire league, or they can just be another goalie that, you know, has an 80% save percentage, 80 plus to 80 to 90, and they just get off to the wayside. But it's just the issue of it's luck. It's honest luck
For goalies?
if a goalie's good or not.
Yes and no.
There's
because
training
it's
that-
dependent. The only thing I have a cousin who told me about, like, he got drafted by, I think, Carolina a while back. Honestly, don't even remember his name. He's such a distant cousin. But he told me about how in the league, like when you're getting to that level, unless you are an all-star, like great, it's all about who you know. And especially for goalies, because he was a goalie. He, like, as players, you can work your way into the lineup. Like there's 18 spots for you to, like, be in an NHL lineup. But for goalies, there's 1.5.
You could be the substitute, but honestly, unless the main goalie is doing terribly that night, when do you get on? You honestly become a comedian.
back-to-backs,
You
on
become a
stuff
comedian
like
on the
that.
ice. There's more clips.
You need a great backup. Yes,
Yes.
you do need a great backup.
I don't know. I don't think you need a great backup. I think you need a serviceable backup. Someone who like a league average goalie. Someone who
Pittsburgh Penguins won the Stanley Cup because Matt Murray and Marc-Andre Fleury were the best goalies. They did not deserve to win any of the series they won that year.
the second time they won.
The second time. The first time, I'll give it to them. The second time, they did not deserve to win any of those series in 17. But they won all of them because Matt Murray and Fleury were great.
No, yeah, I agree with you. But I don't think you need two.
Yeah.
I
That's
don't,
fair.
I don't think you need two.
The only other things really about the Canucks, like they still got Besser.
Yeah, and
Besser's good.
And it's lucky that his injury wasn't as bad as it was
Yeah.
last year. He could have broken a hip. Like
That would've been bad.
And who knows how long that takes to recover. Hopefully he's back to full strength. We're gonna really quickly move on to Edmonton. Ian.
Yeah. Connor McDavid looks great.
That's it.
Okay, we're gonna now move on to the Sharks. Doug Wilson, GM of the offseason.
The Sharks made some big moves. Well, they got Carlson. I hate to.
I don't know if that's a big move. That's like average.
That's
That
average.
happens every day.
I mean, Doug Wilson was swinging for the fences. He whiffed on Tavares, and was like, "Hey, Eric,
yeah, but then he got like a 550 foot
can
banger.
we appreciate that Dorian is never going to answer the phone from Doug Wilson ever again?" We said that after the Hoffman trade, where he fleeced him and then traded him for a bunch more. But come on, Dorian, block this man's phone number. Don't pick up.
This guy's playing you.
You.
This guy's playing you.
Giving you the late
From
night
everything
booty call.
I've heard, Doug Wilson is one of the best negotiators in the league. Dorian, you see his number? Chuck the phone out the window. Chuck it onto the 417. Chuck it into the plot that you have apparently secured at LeBreton Flats for your new stadium. Chuck it into the field beside your office in Canada. Don't pick up.
Oh my goodness. I think that the Sharks are going to be great. I think Carlson's going to be amazing. I saw a funny thing Carlson said today. Carlson, they were talking, he was doing an interview, and they asked him, remember when Vlasic speared you like 2 years ago in 2016? And he turns around and looks at Vlasic and goes, Vlasic, remember you tried to kill me like 2 years ago? And Vlasic goes, it didn't work.
That's a guy that can take a good joke. Like, again, that's why he's such a good namesake, is because it's someone that's happy and can leave a good impression on people.
Yeah.
He's not a guy that everyone just hates.
C material
Like
right
Toronto Maple Leaf fans to Boston Bruins.
They have
just
3
everyone
Cs
hates them.
on the Sharks.
As a Leafs fan, I love Erik Karlsson. I've loved him since the moment he got in Ottawa. And I still do. He's a man who's carried himself with class, with dignity, and he left that city that he thought he thought he was going to call home for the rest of his life with grace.
Yeah.
He thanked every member of the media in the room that day on his last press conference. Erik Karlsson is just a classy man.
He is the definition of class.
He's a model professional. I could sit here and ooh and ah over Erik Karlsson all day. I love Erik Karlsson.
Great guy. He's got great hair.
Hey Eric, you want to come on the pod?
So the last thing,
Somebody DM this to Erik Karlsson.
last thing I really want to talk about, big moves. We're talking,
Big moves.
we're talking one of the most controversial moves probably.
They make money move. We're
We don't dance now. We make money moves.
Is probably Philly. They changed their mascot this year.
Oh yeah, they
Oh
did.
boy.
Love Gritty.
How can you say that?
I love him. I will put his poster in my room while I sleep because that's how much I love this guy. He is hilarious. Have you seen this guy's Twitter already? It's been one day and he roasted the Penguins. Like, they said lol okay to like the announcement of this thing because they were like, this is a joke. And then he was like, sleep with one eye open, bird. How funny is this guy?
The mascot is great. In character, I must preface that.
In character, it's hilarious. But
Visually
we're talking visually, oh boy.
Kids, turn around and run.
If you ever
Or
thought,
stare him in the eyes.
That is not a good idea. That's how you get sucked into the netherworld. This thing is from Stranger Things. Who thought of this?
I don't know. That must have gone through how many levels of people did Gritty go through?
And like, I love it.
For him to be the mascot of the Philly Flyers. That you know that they had a mascot back in '76, I think. His name was Slapshot, and it's hilarious. It looks like Grimace, like Grimace that plays hockey. I don't even know what color he is because the only picture I saw was in like black and white. But it looks like Grimace, literally. It's hilarious. He wore a Philly jersey and had like a hockey stick. That's the picture I saw.
That's the
He
problem.
looked like a lump.
That's the problem with Philly is how do you make a flyer? Now I know Toronto did it right with I forget what their mascot is.
Carlton,
Bear.
you just go separate, man.
Shout out to Carleton University. Let's go, students.
We're all students, but
Declan
anyway.
DeBarp, Carleton University.
Ian Blumenthal, Mississippi State.
Sebastian Court, Mississippi, Iowa University.
What?
Marshall Healy, Gonzaga.
Not prison.
Marshall, you're here in
Freeze
spirit.
up.
We miss you. Come back soon, babe.
So again, Philly just hits their pigeonhole of just make a wacky mascot and just
Honestly,
hope people like it.
I think it was on purpose. Why they did this? How much media attention are they getting?
You have to hope so, because have you seen that meme where they're sitting in the boardroom and there's the guy on the end
He gets yeeted
and
out
he's
the
like,
window.
and everyone was like, yeah, this is a great idea, and he's
What do you
like,
mean? It's
maybe not, and then they throw him out the window. That's the only explanation if this is not a big media grab, and
think
it's
it's
great
hilarious.
media by the Flyers.
It's great. They're getting so much publicity. Oh my goodness. He fell the first time, like when he was on the ice, he did wipe out, which was funny.
But that's
But
perfect.
It's perfect. This guy on his first thing, if he was like a regular looking mascot or something like not that ridiculous, no one would talk about him. Everyone would be like, cool, new mascot, nice. This guy looks outrageous. So I think it works perfectly. And they're going to get all the publicity they want. And honestly, people are going to like this guy because he's funny.
Yeah, it's a harmless character.
It's just his eyes.
It's just the
scare
eyes
you.
are something else.
I forget who it was. I think, I don't know, something about Ed Sheeran. But they were like, you should take a selfie again. You're like, you look the same or something.
Now listen, the Philly mascot, remind me of his name, please.
Gritty.
Gritty looks like Youppi, and the Philly Phanatic
I was thinking of Youppi.
got it on.
Yeah, Youppi.
Tell me I'm wrong.
I was definitely.
Tell
thinking
me
about
I'm
Youppi
wrong.
when
I
saw
honestly don't
Gritty.
even know what Youppi looks like.
He's a orange French Canadian.
Oh, Youppi!
Yeah, Youppi.
Oh!
And the
Youppi. What is
And the
this?
Philly Phanatic
Well, everyone knows
had
the
a
Philly.
wild
Everyone
night.
knows the Philly. That's the thing with Philly. Like they just have mascots that are outrageous characters.
Philly, their mascots represent their town. Utter madness.
Brotherly love. Oh.
I found the picture of the slap shot. It is hilarious. That is their old mascot. Now, I know all the audio listeners can't see it, but if you look up Philadelphia slap shot, the first picture is going to be a black and white picture of Philadelphia's old mascot, and it is worth the look up.
It honestly looks like Grimace got just everything pushed up into his face, and he's just wearing a Phillies jersey.
It's funny.
Well, thank you everyone for listening to this monstrosity of a podcast. It was quite fun. I know we rambled on the Leafs a little, but we ended with something light and fun. Philly, you're a dumpster fire. Don't at
Philly.
Don't at me,
Don't
Philly.
talk.
Gritty, you're the love child of Youppi and the Philly Phanatic. Thank you for listening. Bye-bye.
Follow your hosts on Twitter at DeBarp14, at Ian_Blumenthal, and at Marshall Healy. Don't forget to follow the podcast at Real Gud Procast.